Hello and welcome to part 13 of Let's Answer Some Freaking Questions. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty excited to do this. I mean, I'm getting a little tired, but it's all right. You are getting, your questions are getting me thinking, so I'm very happy. The last question, I think the video cut me off somewhere in the middle, whether Sue and Edith were going to adopt more kids, and my answer was maybe, pretty much. I think I explained that pretty well, but then again, the explanation might have been cut off. But like I said, there's a 50-50 chance that they might adopt more kids, but it's not going to be soon, if it does happen at all. Okay. Warrior Land Gold Pyramid, more riddles. Okay. Hatton7575 asks, what music do you like? I already answered that. Like I said, progressive rock, grunge, any kind of rock in general. If you could only play one game for all eternity, and what game would that be and why? That's a hard one. Of all the games I have, what game would I play? Be the only game I could play anymore. Very hard game. A very hard choice. Maybe The Sims. Maybe Minecraft. I've only played Minecraft for a couple months though, so I don't want to commit to that because I might get tired of it and never pick it up again after a few months. I never know. But The Sims has been with me for 6 years and I still find it fun, so maybe that. Or maybe I'll go with my childhood favorite of Sonic 3 and Knuckles and say I'll play that forever, just over and over and over again. Actually, no, because as fun as that is, it's a linear game. Whereas The Sims 2 and especially Minecraft are wide open sandboxes. It's funny, I kind of gave a spiel on how freedom is overrated, and the two games that I chose because you have a lot of freedom. But the thing about them is it's freedom within constraints, Like, you can do just about anything in Minecraft, but there's constraints. Like, if you want to level an entire hill like I did, you have to work at it. You have to make shovels, and you have to make pickaxes, and you need the proper tools in order to do that. And if you want certain things, you have to be willing to go look for them. So it's complete freedom, but it's within a certain guideline, within certain rules. That's why I think the best system has a framework of rules that set the frame for what's going on, but within that framework you have freedom. So I don't believe that freedom should be completely eliminated or anything crazy like that, but I think that freedom works well within a system of constraints. Art, they say, is the I forget the exact saying, but like the best art comes from working with restrictions and working around them, working through limitations. I think the same is true about life. You put a certain framework in place, and within that framework you have freedom. That's one thing I think is wrong with America today is that framework is not strong enough. There's too much freedom, not enough responsibility, and I think it is slowly destroying our country. I mean, there are other countries in the world where there's too much responsibility, too much control, such as North Korea. But that's the other end of the stick. There is a happy medium somewhere, but I'm not sure if it's ever been reached. How would I get into that? From what game would you play for all eternity? I don't know. I'll never get through these videos if I'm going to go on a long spiel out of everything, I mean. Okay, third question by this guy. How come you started making YouTube videos, and do you have any advice for somebody who is thinking of starting off making videos? I know I answered this before, but pretty much I started making videos because I saw a lot of LPs out there, and I'm like, I could do this, and I did. Pretty much all there is to it. There are two things I can say to aspiring LPers. First thing, you have to be willing to churn out a lot of episodes. Don't just make like one every couple weeks. You really have to work at it, churn out a lot of episodes, build up a good portfolio. People will find you. Even if you're not getting a lot of subs along the way. My first LP, Civ 3, 141 episodes. You know how many subs I had by the end? 64. That's not many. A lot of you watching right now probably have more than 64 subs. But that didn't discourage me because I didn't set my expectations too high. I didn't think that anyone was going to watch my Civ 3 LP, and 64 was a pleasant surprise for me, let alone 2,000. I mean, every subscriber, I take no subscriber for granted. I want to tell you that, to be completely honest. I don't take a single one of you for granted, and, you know, I don't feel I deserve to have this many subscribers or any number of subscribers. I think that it's wonderful that people have subscribed to me in as big of numbers as they have, and I want to get higher, you know, don't get me wrong. I'd love to reach the 5 figures, and who knows, maybe even 6 figures someday, but, you know, I don't expect to, and if I don't, I won't be disappointed. Maybe a little, but I won't be, like, really broken up about it, because what I've managed to achieve so far is pretty good. But yeah, that's really the point. For new LPers, don't expect to achieve a lot so far, and don't get discouraged if you don't receive a lot of subs at first. Don't be like, oh man, I uploaded 20 episodes and I only have 5 subs. This sucks, I'm quitting. Don't be like that. I know it's very tempting, especially if you're a younger person, but you have to stick with it. If you want to make it work, you have to stick with it. Also, you have to have interesting commentary. That's the second point I want to make. You have to have interesting commentary. I think most people have to be of a certain personality type where you can just basically talk and spout out random stuff. You have to be able to fill silent. You have to be able to fill nothing with yourself talking. And if there's one talent I have, it is talking. I talk, and I talk, and I talk, and I talk, and I talk. I can talk about nothing and make it somewhat interesting. It's a skill I have that has helped me with LPs. And believe it or not, it was not a skill I was born with. I used to be a very quiet person. I used to be a very awkward conversationalist. But I learned. And if I learned, anyone can learn. So, that's my recommendation. Oh, the third point, join the House of Sim. If you're an aspiring LPer, come over to the House of Sim, because we really have a very supportive atmosphere. And we also have some very honest people who will tell you, like, if your first attempt at LPing is not too good, as many people's are, we'll tell you, like, hey, you should do this and that to improve, because, you know, we've all been there at some point. And there are a lot of people on the House of Sim who are LPers who have, let's say, you know, a few dozen videos, but they have like 100 subscribers because of the support they've gotten from the House of Sim. Otherwise, some of them, I'm not saying everyone, but some of them would probably only have like 10 or 20 had they not joined the House of Sim, but since they have dozens, you know. There are 4 LPers as of this moment on the House of Sim, at least 4, maybe 5, I forget exactly, that have over 100 subs, not including me or Dwyron, because he had over 100 before he joined the House of Sim. But other than Dwyron and I, there are at least 4 other people who have more than 100 subs. So the House of Sim will help you out, and I very highly recommend anyone joining that, or any other LPing forum. But not all of them will be as supportive to you as the House of Sim will be. And that's my personal pledge. Because if I catch people on the House of Sim being a dick to new people, you know, just trolling them for like, oh, your LPs suck, why are you doing this? Then I'll usually, have a word with those people. Say, hey, that's not how we do things around here. You can't be like that. And I've barely ever had to do that even, because we just have good people who come to the House of Sim. Have I plugged the House of Sim enough for this video? I don't know. Little Creek 94 asks, what was your inspiration for the Lincoln family? I kind of answered that already. The people are basically start off as empty shells into which I and the game pour things into. And it just sort of goes like that, It just sort of builds up on itself. So there really is no inspiration other than just like bits and pieces of random things. I never really tried to emulate one person or another into my characters directly, maybe indirectly, but not directly. Okay. Lord Noaz asks, how's your romantic interest right now? I did answer that. The thing with the girl just didn't work out. I forget what video I talked about that in, but it was back there somewhere. Wario Land Gold Pyramid is back. He asks, what would you do if your account got hacked and closed and all your videos removed? Well, I'd be sad, obviously. I'd just make a new account and continue where I left off. I'd try to upload as many videos as I could, but there's not a backup for everything, so I don't expect that everything would come back. But I would see that, I'd be sad and bummed for a while, but eventually I would get over it, and I'd see it as an opportunity to start fresh. If everything was gone, I really wouldn't feel an obligation to start to do everything again. I would feel a little bit freed up to start some new games. Now, interestingly, I said there was a balance between freedom and order, or whatever I called it, control. And I think I'm actually too far on the control side when it comes to Bonecanoe86. I've so rigidly set myself into a few things. I've given myself too many commitments with all the games that I'm doing. But there's really not a way out of it. Because other than Civ, everything I'm doing is endless. Literally. Well, and the Mario hack. But SimCity 4, The Sims, Minecraft, all endless. So pretty much, if I want to stop any of them, it's going to be a completely arbitrary stopping point. So yeah, I've definitely gotten myself into very much locked into certain things, much more than I ever really wanted to. Yeah, I would use that as an opportunity to perhaps try out new things. Okay. Do you smoke? Do you drink? I used to smoke. I never smoked more than a pack of cigarettes a week, and even so, I only did that for a few months. When I smoked Marlboros, but I quit. The only thing I smoke these days are Black and Mild cigars, and even then, I only have one maybe once every 2 weeks, not too often. I don't recommend smoking, especially if you're a young girl, because it will wrinkle your face and make your voice really deep, very unsexy. You don't want to go that route. But an occasional cigar, most adult males do have an occasional cigar, or, smoke a pipe once in a while. So, I don't really feel too bad about it, I don't want to be like President Grant, who smoked on average 20 big fat cigars a day, so pretty much as soon as he took one out of his mouth, he put another one in. I don't want to be like that. I mean, he died of throat cancer, I think, or something like that. Very painful way to die. So, one cigar every week or two, I don't think is going to kill me. As for do I drink? A little bit. I don't binge drink. I rarely, if ever, get drunk. But, once in a while, having a little liquor, having a few beers, is mighty okay. And That's just the way I do it.